One of the most common questions we've been asked in the last 12 months is it still possible to get positively geared property in Queensland? Which is why in today's video, we wanted to bring you a unique idea and opportunity that's available in Queensland right now, where you can still get incredible cash flow in a market that is undervalued right now with great potential for long-term growth.
Now, as investors, we're always looking for opportunities in the market, those undervalued locations. So recently we analysed over 8,000 suburbs throughout 19 different markets in Australia across 60,000 different indicators. Now, one particular market stood out above all others. So Ben recently took a trip up there to get some boots on the ground, to meet some local real estate agents and developers and start to analyse some of these opportunities. So let's dive into it, Ben. What was the most exciting opportunity that you found up in Townsville?
Beautiful. So as an investor, I'm always looking for everything. I'm looking to time the market well and buy at the bottom. I'm looking for capital growth. I'm looking for cash flow. I'm looking for tax benefits. And I'm looking for something that's relatively set and forget once I've got it set up. So basically this idea is to go out and buy a piece of land for between $180,000 and $220,000, which ranges in size from sort of 600 to 800 square meters. We then partner with one of the local builders and build a beautiful brand new 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage home under the same roof line as a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom granny flat. Now, if we're building a nice big 200 square meter 4-bedroom home with a nice big 60 square meter granny flat, we're looking at the build costing around about that $570K mark, taking us into that $750,000 mark for land and a brand new 4-bedroom home with the 2-bed granny flat.
Now, we all know that Australia is suffering from a bit of a rental crisis at the moment, and this is also super evident up in Townsville with the vacancy rate sitting around 1% at the moment. So the crazy thing is with this opportunity is in that 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom part of the house that you've built, you can rent that for somewhere between $550 to $580 per week. And because we can legally build granny flats in Queensland and rent them out separately, you can catch another $400 to maybe $450 for that 2-bed, 1-bath granny flat as well. So this takes your total rental return on the whole property from somewhere between $950 to $1,030 per week, which will give you around a 6.5% rental yield.
Now, one of the cool things about building property in Australia at the moment is the government gives us these incredible tax depreciation benefits. Now, speaking to the tax depreciation specialists at somewhere like BMT, I found that building a $500,000 property gives you between $300 to $400 a week or 15 to 20 grand back at tax time per year for the first 5 years. And then after that, depending on how they put the report together for you, we seem to get between 7.5 and 12.5 grand a year for the life of that report, which is phenomenal.
Now, as you can see, this looks like an amazing investment opportunity for those out there looking for long-term capital growth, great cash flow from the get-go, and also amazing tax depreciation benefits. But you might be sitting there thinking, why Townsville? I've never really considered this as a market. Well, there's so many cool things happening up there that we didn't realize until we did a super deep dive into the market up there.
Now, the number one reason why Townsville for me, outside of the fact that according to the data, it's only done sort of 1 to 3% per year in the last 12 years, which statistically puts it as the most undervalued major regional market in Australia right now, is the fact that older homes that have been built 10 to sort of 50 years ago that are much, much smaller are selling for the same price as beautiful, brand new, much larger homes in almost the same locations in the city right now. For me, as someone who's looked at Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane time and time again over the years, there's a massive disconnect because larger, brand new property should never be priced at the same amount as older, smaller homes.
You know, there's a wild disconnect there, and that's just because Townsville's so undersupplied right now from an available stock perspective, but also from a rental perspective as well. So that's why we're seeing above average capital growth rates at the moment. And because of this disconnect between supply versus demand, Simon Priestley from Propertyology expects the Townsville property market to go up by over 50% in the next 3 years, as well as some incredible rental growth up there as well.
Now, in terms of the other fundamentals that we love, there's very, very strong employment growth up there at the moment, very strong population growth. According to Simon Priestley, there's around about $12 billion worth of infrastructure projects in place at the moment, with another $12 billion in pipeline. Now, I was actually just up there for 3 days. It was the first time I'd gone and seen the market, and we'd been buying established property up there or existing property for the last 12 months. But after seeing the land market and the opportunity and just how undersupplied that market is at the moment, that's where we found this opportunity, which I think is going to have a very, very short window because the developers aren't silly and the land prices will go up. The builders also aren't silly and the price of building will go up, and this opportunity will close to get that cash flow, that long-term growth, and that land while it's still dirt cheap up there at the moment. If you're thinking about buying an investment property in the next 3 to 6 months, then the team and I at Pumped on Property would love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. To book the session, all you have to do is go to www.pumpedonproperty.com and click that free strategy session button. Now, in the session, we'll talk about exactly where you are right now, where you'd like to be longer term, and educate you deeply on the Australian property market. You can then take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the small number of clients that we work with each month. Either way, we look forward to continuing to help you build your property portfolio with confidence on your journey to financial freedom.